Hello. Hi, my name is Lafani Alexis, and today I will be discussing to you about what I've learned in this week's chapter, as well as the few things that were discussed within my group. So, as far as my group, we decided to base our digital reflection number 3 on the lack of parent education. So, as far as building connection, prior to reading this chapter, I actually had no knowledge of what migrant seasonal family workers were and what they did. After reading the chapter, I did get a bit of an understanding of who they are and what they did. So, migrant seasonal family workers is pretty much like a Latino-based community. They're immigrants who work in agriculture, and they face many challenges such as language barriers. They're working long hours, and they're getting paid low wages. And because they are in these stressful times at work, they're unable to complete their education, or they don't have interest in furthering their education because their priorities are to make more money and support their families. So, challenges. Just as I mentioned before, they challenge in their language. They're constantly traveling. That's another reason as to why they can't finish their schooling. They're getting paid low income, and so they have to work long hours to support their kids, their families, their relatives, their wives or husbands. And so education is not a it's not a necessity for them. So, concept. What challenges? I think the most biggest challenge or the leading domino would be finances. Because finances is so important, they have to work these long hours because these jobs don't provide a lot of money for these immigrants. And they need to work these long hours to support, as I mentioned, their family members. And I think that if they were to get a job in a different field or something that provided more money, they would be able to work less hours, still support their family as they wanted to, and be able to finish their schooling. But they're unable to. So I think it's very important that these parents work on trying to increase their literacy skills, because if they can at least try to do that, maybe they don't have to work in these agricultural positions, because I feel as most times they're in these positions because it's what they know, what they grew up into, and what's easier for them, especially being immigrants. But if they're able to further their education, then they can break that cycle and pursue in something else, be able to participate in their child's education as well. So as far as changes, as I mentioned, I think that they should at least try to lessen their hours and give a little more priority in their education, and at least stress this to their kids as well, that education is important so that they can break the generational curse. Just because they grew up into it doesn't mean that their child has to, especially if their child was born in the US or born and has more benefits than their parents do. The child should definitely take advantage of these benefits where they can further their career. And I feel like, as I mentioned, breaking the cycle, a lot of times they notice that their parents are struggling because they're trying to meet ends meet, and support their family. And so then they drop out of school. They care less about their education because they want to also start working and provide for their family and help out. So these are things that I think need to be taking place. Thank you for listening.